and welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleacher. This channel is all about planning, budgeting, paying off debt, and hopefully one day retiring early. So if those are topics that you are also interested in, then please subscribe to my channel. It is time for our weekly check-in, and I am using an academic planner from Erin Condren. Is there 5 weeks? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we are in week 4 of August. This is my weekly check-in for the week of August 17th through the 23rd. I'm going to start by laying down some of my Etsy stickers. This is my weekly check-in from my Marina kit. And I also had a payday this week, so I'm going to add this to our week as well. Okay, so this is what the whole week ends up looking like once I lay down those stickers. And I wanted to show you my pre-work that I do. I'm filling in my monthly expense tracker and also my weekly check-in on this worksheet here. These worksheets are available in my Etsy shop, Life in Envelopes. There's a link in the description box below, as well as a 10% off discount code for all my YouTube viewers. I'm doing the pre-work because if you saw my last cash envelope stuffing video, it was a hot mess. And there's 2 reasons for that. 1, I didn't do any of the pre-work that I normally would do on my worksheets, so lesson learned. And 2, I was just exhausted from my first week back at work. I didn't have students this week, but I was setting up my classroom and getting ready for the upcoming week, so I was just exhausted when I filmed that video. Okay, so I'm going to start by adding everything that I spent this week, and then I'm also going to highlight it by category. Debts are pink, bills are purple, food is blue, miscellaneous is yellow, and gas is green. So I'm going to fill all that in and highlight it, and I'll fast forward that part for you. Okay, so I always like to take a quick glance at this and see how many yellows I have, because yellows are unbudgeted expenses. So I don't like to have very many yellows. Even though we have a budget for it, we have $70 budget per week for that, I don't like that. Okay, so we have some no spend days. Yay! So I'm going to put down some no spend stickers on those days because I earned them. So Tuesday was a no spend day. These no spend stickers are also available in my Etsy shop. And Saturday and Sunday were no spend days. Awesome. Okay, so let's move over to the main calendar spread and we'll talk about each expense in more detail. Okay, these stickers that I am using are from Cara Plans. This is from her Etsy shop. She's also a YouTuber, and this is what they look like. So let's look at the first half of the week here. I didn't have anything on the 16th. On the 17th, we went to Sam's Club and we spent $16. That was my only food expense this week. Actually, it wasn't my only food expense. It's the only food expense that came out of our family budget. My husband did something really awesome for us. So you know we get spending money. Every 2 weeks, we get a certain amount of spending money, $40 a week. Well, he's been saving his money up. And we had to throw everything out of our freezer and our refrigerator after we didn't have power for 5 days last week, or, this week. So we went and basically got everything to refill our freezer and fridge. And it was $350. And he used all of his savings that he'd been saving up from his spending money to pay for that. So that's going to help us out budget-wise. I was really hoping that we'd be able to pay him back, but let's see how it works out. I'm thinking we're not going to be able to pay him back. Okay. Then on the 17th, we also had a gas purchase for $18.14. We also went to Target that day. My grandpa just turned 90 years old, which is incredible. So we bought him a couple of birthday cards because we're doing a birthday card shower for him. He's up in Michigan, and then I think I picked up a couple other things because I don't think it was $30 worth of cards, but I can't remember exactly what else I got. Target is so dangerous. Okay, then on the 18th we didn't spend anything. On the 19th, Netflix came out. So let's look at the second half of the week. Wednesday was payday. Woohoo! I like paydays. And then I went to Target that day, and I had to pick up some things for my classroom. I'm trying so hard to keep the cost, like how much I spend on my classroom, I'm trying so hard to keep it low, because in the past I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on my classroom, and it's just not fair to my family for me to do that. So I'm trying to be more aware of that this year. On the same day, my husband registered the boys for school. We have a sinking fund for that, but the total registration was $315, and our sinking fund only covered $160 of that. So we have an unexpected expense of $155 there, which is why I think we won't be able to pay my husband back for groceries. Okay, and then I had an Amazon order again for a couple things for my classroom for $12.69. Okay, so let's take a look and see how this all breaks down. So we're here at the weekly check-in. I'm going to move over to this page because there's not enough room at the bottom here. So I'm going to get that set up and then I'll be right back. So this weekly check-in kit is also available on in my Etsy shop. I am going to use my weekly check-in, my pre-work that I did ahead of the video, to fill in all the information here. Okay, today I'll be using black to indicate positive numbers and red to indicate negative numbers. So let's start with the budgeted amount. This week for bills, we budgeted $14. For debt, we budgeted $0. For food, we budgeted $175. For miscellaneous, we budgeted $70. And for gas, we budgeted $30. Now let's look at how much we actually spent. We spent $13.90 on bills, which is a positive difference of 10 cents. On debt, we didn't pay anything, which was $0 because we budgeted for $0. On food, we budgeted $175, but we only spent $16.64, thanks to my husband. So that's going to leave us with a pretty large positive in that category. We have a positive amount of $158.36. Okay, miscellaneous. This is going to be very high because we have that additional school registration fee of $155. So this category was $235.63. Which is a negative difference of $165.63. Again, 155 of that was the registration, but then we were still over by $10.63. Okay, for gas, we only spent $18.14. Which means we had a positive amount of $11.86. So altogether, we budgeted $289. We spent $284.31. So we ended with a positive this week of $4.69. So let's do the math here. So going back and looking at our first weeks of the month, first week we were negative 1648. Second week we were negative 6408. When we added those two together, we were negative $80.56. Last week we were negative 230.72. This is when we were dealing with the derecho, which is that land-based hurricane, and we were out of power for 5 days. So it was quite a week. Well, actually we were negative 150.16, but when we add them together, it came to 230.72. And then this week, we are actually positive 469. So if we look at here, 230.72. And we're going to take away 469 from that because that's a negative amount and this is a positive amount. So we are still negative 226.03. So we still need to figure out a way to come up with this money this month. We have one more week this month. Looking back at the calendar, most of the expenses coming out are bills. I mean, we have a lot of debt and bills coming out, and those are either completely fixed or close to fixed. Those amounts rarely change or only change by a few dollars. So I'm not expecting a big difference there. So the only categories we can really play with then to try to make up this 226 are going to be food, miscellaneous, and gas. So we will have to see how that goes, but we do have another alternative here. We have this debt snowball envelope, and we have talked about it, and due to the fact that we just went through a natural disaster, we're totally okay with taking money out of this envelope and putting it here if we need to. So what I'm wondering is, do we even have enough in here to cover this amount? So let's do a quick check to see. So we need 226.03, assuming that we don't go over budget next week. 1, 2, 220, 240, 245, 250, 251, 252, 253, 254. So we will have enough to cover this, assuming we don't go over next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, then please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you again next week. Bye, everyone.